All right, man. I can't believe they did it. I mean, the speed in which this whole thing came about last night, and at 9:30 my time in the morning, Lamelo Ball is not in Charlotte anymore. He's in Minnesota for Reid, a bunch of draft picks. Wow. I mean, this is such a vote of no confidence by the Charlotte Hornets on Lamelo Ball. I mean, what else can this be? The only thing I can think is that they just don't trust he's going to be healthy. Like, they don't think the ankles are going to hold up. He was healthy this past season, and then before that, it was 3 straight years of a lot of missed games. The only other thing is maybe they just don't believe in the guy as a leader like that. I mean, look, obviously LaMelo's a character depending on the interview, and LaMelo sound bites post-game interviews are going to be crazy, and the guy needs to learn how to drive a car. But it felt like he had made a lot of strides with leadership and being serious when he needed to be, because otherwise, I mean, yeah, we all understand that LaMelo doesn't have the smoothest game on the edges. We get that. But he was such an offensive engine for the Hornets this season. I mean, hit-ahead passes, skip passes in the half court, the two-man game with Kahn. I mean, I understand, like, we can praise Kahn's ghost screening and all that, and Kahn's a very smart player, but LaMelo is a huge reason why Kahn's efficiency was so crazy this year. I mean, if you look at like lineup numbers of Kahn Knippel and Brandon Miller with no LaMelo this past season, the offensive rating falls off. If you look at lineups with LaMelo and no Kahn and no Brandon Miller, the offensive rating still holds up. Sample sizes vary depending on the lineup, but like LaMelo without those two at 160 minutes, 130 offensive rating. Kahn and Miller without LaMelo in 270 minutes regular season, 108 offensive rating. All three of them, 133 offensive rating. I mean, man, this is wild. I mean, I really would love to know, like, how many front offices would actually make this trade? Because you've got all the momentum going for you next season. Like, I know you lost to the Magic in the play-in game. I know that, you know, to go back to LaMelo's game, we know that sometimes the difficult threes can be too much. Sometimes the lack of physicality going to the rim can be a little too much. But man, he had your offense moving. He had your whole franchise looking different. I mean, the Hornets have mostly not mattered in my time caring about basketball, from when they were the Bobcats until before the second half of this previous season. I just don't think any of us expected this one. Like, even if, as a front office, even if deep down you do have some doubts or some fears about, well, if we can get to the playoffs, like, is LaMelo going to be efficient enough to really get us on a playoff run and all that stuff? Even if you really believe that, it's like, how much closer are you to even making the playoffs after this trade? You just dealt him for, look, I like Reid, but you are now putting a lot more faith into Brandon Miller and Kahn Knippel to not just be like shot makers, and in Miller's case, the occasional ISO guy. Like, you are leaning on them so much more as playmakers. And I mean, you just drafted Christian Anderson, and I remember in my draft video, I was like, oh, I wonder what this means for Kobe White. Well, actually, the whole thing just got flipped on its head. And I mean, do I believe that like a Kobe White, Christian Anderson, Kahn Knippel, Brandon Miller backcourt situation is going to generate the same offense that LaMelo did? No, I don't. I mean, obviously these are good players, but when we're talking self-creation and playmaking, I mean, LaMelo, he had this all, man. I mean, the guy averaged 7 assists a game this past season, but he effectively had like at least double that with the amount of passes that would lead to just the chain of passes of good shots. And then, you know, a Diabate dunk, a Miller or a Kahn three, or LaMelo getting the ball back and then scoring, or Kobe White cooking, or Kalkbrenner finishing, whatever, right? I mean, you know, they had Sion as well, just for some new defensive energy. And I mean, look, again, they lost in the play-in game to the Magic, but the Eastern Conference fan bases were scared of this team because of that run they went on in the second half of the season. And maybe we were all doing a little too much with that, but they had such a point to build on, and now you have just flipped the whole thing sideways. And as a front office, I don't even really know how you can look your fan base in the eye and just be like, yeah, guys, trust us on this one. I mean, you got pick swaps. You got an unprotected in 2033. I mean, you got pick swaps. And like, it's a lot of picks. I will give you that. But like, the whole point of getting picks is to get somebody like LaMelo. Also, are they going to be better than the Wolves when these pick swaps come into play? I don't even know about that one. I mean, it's just wild. And so now, I mean, now like we have to wonder with the Hornets, okay, where are you going to get your lead creator? Like, we'll talk about LaMelo and Anthony Edwards in a second here, but like the Hornets now have to get a new lead creator. This is crazy. Again, they really just must not believe he's going to be healthy with his ankles. I don't know what else it can be. Because even if you have some doubts about his game, it's like, bro, the Hornets have mostly not mattered for the entire time that I've cared about basketball. It's just crazy. I mean, Kahn, Miller, like, you guys now have more self-creation responsibilities. good luck. It really just has to be they don't trust his ankles. Like, what else would it be? All right, the Wolves have traded beloved Reid, who looked like the starting power forward for a little bit, for Josh Green and LaMelo Ball. And their draft pick situation, I mean, it already wasn't that robust, and now they've dealt basically the rest of their draft pick situation. I mean, one of the picks they didn't deal was frozen because they were probably in the second apron for too long. Have I ever used the word robust before? Look, you go right to the LaMelo Anthony Edwards partnership here, where that's a whole lot of talent. That is more shot creation and playmaking that Ant is now going to be able to play off of than he's ever been able to before. It's the most talented player that LaMelo has had next to him. Of course, LaMelo can find Ant on the break, like specifically at the half court. We will see just how much of a two-man game there is with him. I mean, LaMelo is very willing and very able to play two-man action with anybody. It's just if Ant wants to like morph into that type of a player a little bit more. I mean, I don't think Ant is going to suddenly do a Con Knipple impression with a bunch of ghost screens, but perhaps there's a little bit more there that he can find now playing with LaMelo. And Ant can be the elite scorer, the elite tough shot maker that LaMelo can sometimes be, but also sometimes the efficiency just isn't really there enough. The fear here is that you're just getting a little too much of difficult threes, because for much as we love Ant, like he will still sometimes take one or two that you're just like, oh, I don't know. And of course, that the same thing with LaMelo, but the talent is crazy here, man. And they still have Gobert. I mean, a LaMelo-Gobert partnership more years is Gobert going to be Gobert. I mean, the guy has held up, I think, in an underrated way with his durability as he's entered his mid-30s here. I mean, him and LaMelo can immediately have a pick-and-roll partnership unless we do another year of like a guy needs to figure out how to play a Rudy Gobert, because that did happen with the Wolves a bit. Hopefully Rudy doesn't drop the ball when LaMelo lobs it to him, finds him on the roll. Of course, Rudy did also make some strides on his like short rolls this past season. LaMelo can certainly make all the kickouts to Io and Jaden, and also LaMelo beyond the like half court pick and roll stuff. He's just going to get them into faster sets. So the big thing with LaMelo is just the other team scored. Let's just hit it ahead right away. You know, and we've seen the Wolves half-court offense just slow down a lot, and then it becomes Ant, could you please create out of nothing? Or it was Julius Randle dribbling the air out of the ball. Like LaMelo is just going to inject way more energy into the team. Now, defensively, as long as you have Gobert and Jaden, you're always going to be good. I will say you have gotten quite a bit smaller here, going from Randle and Nas to LaMelo. Yeah, I mean, the way this doesn't work is LaMelo and Ant's partnership on the court doesn't hit really like that. They just kind of operate independent of each other. Or the big one, the Hornets are correct in just not betting on LaMelo, and I still believe it's just because they don't think he's going to be healthy, and so then he's not healthy here. And he's just having ankle sprains and all that stuff. But the Wolves, we've known for a few years now they wanted a guard, and they kind of shifted not the entire team identity, but a decent amount of the team identity. I mean, this Wolves team is going to feel a lot different. That's the LaMelo experience. And I mean, thinking about them versus the Spurs, I do wonder if, like, versus Wemby, like in a playoff series, if LaMelo just ends up taking a bunch of really, really deep floaters. And against OKC, I mean, you just got so many defenders just hounding you, looking to get steals and all that. I mean, there's more to it than just how do you fare up against OKC and the Spurs. I mean, LaMelo can put the Nuggets in a blender on defense. Anyway, who is the Wolves starting for now? They do have a couple spots still to fill, and the lineup of like Io, Ant, LaMelo, Jaden, Gobert is available to them, but they're going to need some more size. I mean, you got Terrence Shannon here. I don't know, but this is crazy. That's it, man. I mean, how many teams would have made this deal to get off of LaMelo like this?